Not bet against it.
Let's go to the Cowboys because they're in dysfunction too.
Oh, really? The Cowboys are having problems?
It's like, what's new? Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
It's like, I didn't know. They
That
still
is-
got Zeke on a holdout. What do they do? Like, who was this new guy they started?
So his name is Tony Pollard.
He
Or
had
I
like
might have that.
16 yards off of 4 rushes, which
So
granted is 4 yards a carry, but you're playing preseason.
this made me laugh when I saw this yesterday. So yesterday night I was searching up new NFL stories because I wanted to be prepared as much as possible. And then I saw this pop up. So apparently during the last preseason game the Cowboys played, they had to start Tony Pollard or however you say
I
his
think it's
last name.
Pollard.
So I'm just gonna call him Tony. Whatever. Tony. They had to start
Okay.
this guy named Tony, which Jerry Jones quoted either after game or maybe before or something. He was quoted as saying something along the lines of, "We see Tony as equivalent to Alvin Kamara."
No.
Okay.
Alvin
relax.
Kamara.
All
He
right. No.
And,
No.
and after the game, he said Tony Pollard can carry the load amid Ezekiel Elliott's holdout.
I
Wait,
had
did Jerry Jones say that?
Yeah, Jerry Jones said that after their game.
He's just saying that so Zeke will be like, I gotta go take a shit contract. God damn it.
Like,
There's
This
no
is-
way.
this is basically Le'Veon Bell whipped into Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys to enjoy this year. Have fun.
No, there's no way. Like, no, I can't take that seriously.
Now I'm not sure if he's being misquoted by an article just to like make it seem bad.
No,
or
he
something, but
probably said that. I would not put that.
I
past
would
him.
not put it past him.
Not
He
at
was-
all.
he definitely praised the four. He said they said after he basically was quoted saying, "I certainly thought he had to get account of himself. He looks confident. He's basically giving him all this praise. He knows what he's capable." He literally carried the ball 4 times for 16 yards.
Yeah, for one drive.
all he
Like, are you
did.
kidding me? One drive.
All he did. That's
Did
it.
they score on that
Alvin
drive?
Kamara.
I want to know that.
No,
Did they score?
no, he didn't even score.
Okay, then great job. If Zeke was there, like Zeke wouldn't even be carrying. To be fair, Zeke
Wait,
would
did he
not
get
be
any
carrying the ball.
catches?
No,
No,
that's it.
that was his
So then
solo
why is
stat
he
line.
Alvin Kamara? That's like half of what Alvin Kamara
That's-
does. He
That's
catches. He's really good
apparently
at
what the
catching.
Cowboys drafted him to be because they see him as an Alvin Kamara type player.
Did he get a
that's
target?
No, thank you.
Not what I'm aware of, no. And so you got that. Apparently, Jerry Jones also told CBS Sports 11 last month. He said you don't have to be a rushing champion to win a Super Bowl.
Isn't that
Basically,
what
a
happened
direct
last
hit.
time?
But
they
when you
won?
have one,
Isn't that what
Exactly.
they had
But
last
being
time they won
a-
a Super Bowl? Emmett Smith.
Yeah, exactly. And they're a running team. I thought from the
What?
beginning
Are you
when they
kidding
drafted
me?
that superstar running back who led the league in rushing 2 out of 3 years. You don't need to be a rushing champion. though.
what's the point of the O line if you don't care about your running game?
Who knows? Who cares? I
um,
guess.
I don't understand what the Cowboys are thinking here at this point. Like, okay, you don't want to pay him what he wants to be paid. Okay, fine. That's happened to many teams before.
Yeah, many
but-
teams, many players.
It's not like Zeke's out there bashing the team constantly like Le'Veon was. He's not out there talking trash from what I've seen. He's just
Mhm.
not showing up, right?
Yeah.
Which is what Le'Veon did as well when he wanted to be paid. But that was different. Le'Veon was on literally the last year of his contract. Zeke still has 2 years left of his rookie contract, and he's not. I mean, he's asking to be paid a lot, but he's not asking to be the highest paid from what I think. I don't think he is. I'm not.
I mean,
I
if
don't know
he-
what his terms are. I don't think we know what his terms are. but-
He said he wants to be paid just like Gurley got paid. He didn't
Just-
say he wanted to be paid
okay.
more. He said he wanted a Todd Gurley payday, which
That's a
in
lot.
my opinion, to be fair, he deserves it because right now he's on track to he's supposed to carry the ball more and more and more every year, and now he's starting to catch the ball. So his touches are going
Exactly.
through the roof.
And it's not like I would say it's not like they have a massive huge wide receiver core. As you mentioned to me a couple days ago, their wide receivers are kind of no, it's the Giants that are hurt. Never mind. But their
Yeah,
wide
the Giants
receiver,
are hurt.
besides Amari Cooper, they don't have some amazing wide receiver core to help carry the Zeke's load.
They
And
picked
Dak's
up
not some incredible quarterback.
they picked up some slot receiver. I can't remember who it was, but he's supposed to be like the slightest upgrade from Cole Beasley. I'm like, what's the point then? Beasley does just fine in the slot. You
Yeah,
could, and you're probably going to end up paying that guy more money, right?
yeah,
So if you didn't
pretty
take
much.
that guy, you'd be paying that money to Zeke, and Zeke would be happy, and you'd be sitting there, and everybody says, "Oh, they're contenders, they're contenders." I'm like, no, you're not a contender without Zeke. You might
So
be a contender with Zeke.
exactly. And so the other thing with this Tony guy that they played, right? So Jerry is hyping up so much. He was not even the starting running back on his college team. He
Oh
was the
my,
third running back on
he's
his
a
college
third
team.
string.
He was the third string. He only ran the ball 78 times last year in college.
So Jerry Jones is trying to make a power play with
Exactly.
a third string college running back
Pretty
versus
much.
the number one back in the league. He's sitting back there.
He
You
did
guys
really
go
well
ahead.
when he did play, but that's besides the point. He was the third string.
I'm telling you right now, Zeke's gonna be sitting back there. Yo, I'm good. It's like you guys. I'm serious. It's gonna end up being like
sitting
what
back there
happened with
saying,
Emmitt Smith.
see how well you do without me. See
Yeah,
how well you
exactly.
do without me, and then see what the fan reaction
He's
is.
gonna look at him and go, "Come back in 2 weeks when you guys are 0-2 in the regular season." Is what I'm talking about. But he's gonna say, "Come back when you're 0-2, and we'll talk." He goes, "Maybe I'll be open, but you might have to pay me a little more."
Jerry is honestly, if you think about it, if you're a Cowboys fan, and I know Dan's not here, so he's not gonna be flipping
He's-
over this, but if you're a Cowboys fan, this is honestly should be really worrisome for you at this point. Like at the beginning, you're like, okay, it's another holdout, whatever. They'll probably pay him. They'll resolve it somehow. Blah blah blah. This is like, to me, it seems bad because now Jerry's not. Now he's not saying, okay, yeah, Zeke's really good. We'll get it done. Blah blah blah. He's not trying to make it seem like they're pushing forward with Zeke's contract. He's making it seem like they're done with him almost because like they don't care what he does, which
I
as a
don't-
Cowboys fan should worry you.
I don't think he's trying to say he's done, but I think he's trying to say like, "Hey Zeke, if you don't come back, we're still gonna have a chance to win a Super Bowl." I think he's really trying to just bait Zeke into saying, "Okay, I'll take the like lesser contract." But I think Zeke's playing this smart. He's gonna. I think he'll let him go to the regular season. And I tell you
Yeah.
right now, if that man does not break 100 yards, Tony Pollard, if he does not break 100 yards first game rushing, he's
It's gonna
done.
be hell to pay.
He's done. They're gonna run to Zeke and they're going, please come back. We need you. He's gonna say,
I mean, you
"Where's
can already almost see
my
it. The
money?"
Cowboys, especially with Cowboys fans, how dedicated their fan base is, right? You can almost already see it like game one. If he doesn't break like 100 yards game one, there's gonna be riots outside Cowboys HQ. You can only almost already see it just because they know how the chances they have with this team this year is high. They know they have a good team this year, and they know that if they don't have Zeke, their chances of winning and getting to the playoffs drop significantly.
oh,
So
100%.
and they love Zeke as much as Cowboys fans love Zeke, right? They just do.
Yeah.
And so if Jerry Jones is not paying him, and there's no real besides the real reason he doesn't want to as much as he wants to, they're gonna be rioting on him. You can already know anyone who loves the Cowboys and you know how dedicated their fan base is,
Oh, very.
they will be rioting on them. I'm telling you.
Well,
If they
and there's
lose to the
another thing.
Redskins, it's they
Oh,
have
that
to
would be
sign him
bad.
at that point.
That would be bad. That'd be real bad.
I mean, I feel like if you lose because the Giants are week 1.
They play the Giants week 1, who they should smother. By the
Yeah,
way,
they
Yeah.
should not be
stomp.
close.
They
There
should
should
start
only
out. They should start out 3-0 this year.
There's only
If-
one,
based on
there's
their
only
schedule.
one problem when they
Let me
play the
check on-
Giants is if Saquon does great.
Right.
Like
That's
if,
a chance.
If the Giants
So
were
they
to
have-
win, they would have to first of all bench Eli for Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is good enough yet, but
No.
they're not
He
winning
showed
with
up
Eli.
in that first preseason though. Not
Yeah,
tremendous, but
I think he did actually I have a stat line. He
Yeah.
threw for 67 yards, a touchdown. He went 5 for 5. Cool.
It's not bad.
You did okay, but it's a
Yeah.
preseason game, so I don't take any of that too seriously. I think it's more or less just getting them into game speed, but even then,
Yeah.
regular season changes everything.
Yeah.
But there's only one player on that team that's going to be any good, and that's
Yeah.
Saquon, because Saquon's the the number 2, if not number 1 back. Because
Yeah, pretty
Zeke, in my opinion, is still a little better than Saquon because Zeke he's got a better line, so he'll obviously be a little bit better. How Saquon does this year is entirely dependent on him because he's got no help. Period.
True. He does.
But the Giants aren't.
nothing.
The Giants should not win against the Cowboys. But if that does happen, first of all, Giants fans are going to be up and down screaming. But Cowboys fans are going to be up and down screaming at Jerry Jones to sign. Please sign Zeke. It would help us so much. It's
Exactly.
like, look, we've got 2 years to win a Super Bowl here. but we need to get rid of Dak and sign Zeke.
Based upon looking at their schedule, right, and based everything that I see with the Cowboys and how good they are, I think they probably could go 3-0 without Zeke, but their hardest game, and as insane as it is for these words coming out of my mouth, is probably going to be against the Redskins if they don't have Zeke.
Well, who are the first 3 games? I know it's the
So
Giants.
the first 3
I'm
games, you got the
assuming
Giants,
Redskins.
and then you have the Redskins right after that. Which, if they lose that game, would be horrible for the Cowboys, right? That's a rival. It's a huge rivalry.
Funny.
And if they don't have Zeke, they're gonna be so mad they lost that game, right? And then
for sure.
right after that, they play the Dolphins, who are dumpsters. So it doesn't matter anything about the Dolphins, unless the Dolphins just have an amazing start to the season, which I don't see happening. But
I don't
whatever.
think
With
that's
who? With who?
I know.
Who's the ball going to?
I don't know, but that's my point. Anyway, but the fourth game is where they're going to need Zeke. They're not going to win with Tony Pollard against the Saints. Okay, they can't
Absolutely
beat the
not.
Saints without Zeke, so they're going to have to sign him by week 4. So
Look,
I don't see them not
They're not
signing
going to
him
win
before
that
that.
game with Zeke.
You're probably right, honestly.
It's going to be hard for them to beat the Saints.
If I
anyway,
remember
but-
correctly, my prediction was the Saints from the NFC are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I really don't
believe
think
so.
they got a chance against that one.
No, even
But
if they
you
had
never
Zeke, it's
know.
going to be hard. But they are not winning without him. Period.
Oh yeah, like
So I don't see I don't see
was-
how they couldn't sign him before week 4.
another thing I read was that the Cowboys have Super Bowl hopes with
When did
a
they not?
non-Super Bowl quarterback. I was like, that's shots fired at Dak, but also the only reason Dak is as good as he is because when Zeke brings that 8th man to the box or 9th man to the box, it opens up a lot because now you can they had an okay receiver before, but now they got Amari. So
Yeah.
if they pull people off of Amari and bring him down to control Zeke, Dak's gonna look better. But let's see what happens. I honestly want to see what happens when Dak plays week 1. Even though it's against the Giants, I want to see how well he does.
I think they'll if they've signed Zeke by then, I think he'll look good just because Zeke will open up so much running
Oh no, I'm
space.
saying if they don't have Zeke, I'm
But if
gonna
they-
watch that game.
Oh, if
and
they
I'm gonna
don't
tell
have
you what
Zeke.
happened. Yeah.
Okay, so if they don't have Zeke, then in that case, I think it's actually going to be because the few times they played when Zeke was suspended last year, right, and they
Mhm.
didn't play, and Dak basically was carrying the brunt of the load. Their O line was so good that almost every running back they put in did decent. Like they didn't do Zeke numbers, but they did decent, right?
Yeah, but if
And-
they've got to rotate 3 different running backs, that's gonna be tough.
And their rotation is terrible. They have the backup to Tony Pollard. If I guess Tony Pollard
Pollard,
is their
yeah.
Pollard. Sorry,
You're
Tony
gonna make me
Pollard
mad
is their
saying that.
starter in place of Zeke. Then they have Alfred Morris and somebody I've never heard of, so I can't even remember the name of it. Literally already.
Yeah, but
before.
they're gonna be splitting carries.
So they have a veteran and somebody who's probably just a sign-on, right? And
Yeah.
so they're going to be splitting carries between 3 people, which is never a good thing as a running back core. You don't want to really do that.
Yeah, you need
between
somebody
3
to
people.
get a flow going so they can get into the
Exactly.
game. If you keep changing them out, I mean, if there's a guy who's a 3rd down running back, okay, fine, I understand bringing him in like that, but you can't be one play, next play, other play, and just different running back each time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna
And,
be
Last year.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. And
You have 2 potentially Pro Bowl running backs.
yeah, maybe.
that was insane last year. But again, they traded that because they didn't want to have the clutter like they did last year as well. And I think it'll honestly show if they still haven't signed Zeke, especially that first game, if Dak is good enough as it, given what everything expected of him this year, if he's actually a good quarterback. Because so many people have asked themselves is he actually good, or is it just because of how good his team is around him, he
Yeah.
looks good?
Because
In certain
he has the
situations,
number
he
1
looks good.
offensive line, and it's
He does.
hard not to be good when you got a good line.
It is, and that's something that even bad quarterbacks look good when they have a good offensive line. So
Yeah, they've got time to throw it, and it lets them settle down. They're not as rushed and scrambled. That's what
exactly.
happens. But
And they see, exactly.
what was it? I believe in the top 100. I mean, granted, this is player voted, but they rated the top 100 players for the NFL 100, and I don't think he made the list. I
Wow.
don't think Dak made the list.
Wow.
Zeke
I'm
was. I
actually
think
kinda
Zeke was
surprised.
21, and I think Zeke was 21. Saquon was 18.
Wow.
Just because of their value to each other. Yeah,
That's
Zeke is good and valuable to that team, but Saquon was the Giants.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I didn't
Granted-
see this, but apparently a week ago, and I must have missed this somehow. Eric Dickerson, you guys all know who Eric Dickerson was.
yeah, I think I read this quote.
He apparently talked to Ezekiel Elliott's agent, about a week ago, and he said the agent told him that it's extremely possible he's going to miss some games. He said
Yeah.
he said he wants to play, but this is business. Zeke's the best player on that team. If he misses 4 weeks, I guarantee you they'll probably win one game.
I can agree with that. There's going to be the Giants game.
Exactly.
Amari
So I
Cooper's
mean,
gonna have a comeback year. He's gonna be the best player in that year.
Who?
Amari Cooper.
Oh, I think Amari's going to be good. I definitely.
I must have missed that entirely, but that's very interesting to say that like Zeke's serious about this as much as people didn't think he was at the start. He's very, very serious about this holdout, and he will do what's necessary, especially to prove that he is the entire team, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be so the way somebody said it was in one of the quotes, it was an old offensive lineman who's now an analyst for another for I believe it's ESPN. He said something. I'm paraphrasing. I'm definitely not quoting him word for word. But long story short, he said Zeke has no ammo.
Yeah.
Zeke's holding out with like no ammunition. He's got nothing to tell them like sign me now. He's only thing he's got is to wait for the regular season, and if the second the Cowboys lose a game, his
Oh, it's gonna be
ammo,
hell.
he's getting stockpiles at that point.
Exactly.
He is loading up, and the second they lose, he's gonna come out firing and say, "Look
And
at them. They can't do anything without me."
Here's the thing I hate so much about these holdouts is that in the past there was some teammate loyalty where you could do that. This is not something new that just all appeared out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Players, veterans in the past, especially in the NFL, could do this. They always had this option, but there was like a sense of loyalty of like, I want to be around my brothers, my teammates. I want to try to get to the playoffs. I want to try to have the best record possible. But now, because they want to get paid as much as possible, they're willing to just sit out regular season games. They're willing to take a hit on the payday every single game in order to get a massive check.
Well, another thing is though he saw what happened to DeMarco Murray, the Cowboys running back before. They ran him to the dirt,
That's
and then they
right.
kicked him out.
I remember
And
that.
think
now.
about it. If he's going to be doing the exact same thing, he's saying, "Look, I've got like 3-4 more seasons of good play.
Yeah.
Give me my contract, give me my money, because he's like, you're gonna put me through the doghouse." He's like, he's gonna run the gauntlet every game. You need him to be paid. You need him to be like willing to play well, and if he gets hurt, come back with a vengeance.
True.
If you don't do that, he's got no incentive to come out and play, because he's like, you're just gonna run me to death. I'm not gonna get a good payday. I'm not gonna make any money off of this, and I'm not gonna win a championship.
Yeah.
He's like, so what's the point? He's like, if I don't win a championship, at least I'm paid.
That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. And I cannot see the Cowboys waiting longer than at max. If
No
they
way
lose
he
the
gets
first
that.
game, there's no way they don't give him the money he wants. But if they win the first game, there's no way they wait longer until the Saints, because they know they're going to lose without him against the Saints.
Yeah.
Know that. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got on that topic. I mean, I think we got two more to go.